All right, welcome to this development stream of Everwind, which is my RPG, which I'm working on, or have been working on for about a year. Um, so I'm going to talk a bit today, at least I hope to. Uh, if you have any questions or anything during the stream, feel free to post uh, questions or comments in the chat, and I will definitely try to answer them when I see them. Um, I'm gonna Today I'm going to start by making a new room, um, because we're doing sort of a dungeon area here, and the next room that the player will enter after being done with this floor is entering up here, up the stairs, into the king's chambers. So I'm going to start at least by building the king's chambers today. So yeah, let's see how that goes. I'm not quite sure how big this should be right now, so I guess there's going to be a bit of trial and error here, but so you just have to bear with that. Um, when I map, I don't necessarily make a plan beforehand or sketch it out or anything like that. I just tend to um, explore the room and then go from there and see what I like to put down. So there will be some putting down, taking away, putting down something else, take it away again. Uh, it's just the way I work. But I think that in the end, that will make the best areas and the most interesting rooms to explore. Okay, so we have our bedroom area here, or sleeping quarters, and some kind of meeting room, living room sort of thing here. The entrance area, and I'm thinking maybe some private library or something like that. Study, maybe. Yeah, a study. I think I'm gonna make a study. Alright, I think I'm going to try out to walk around a bit, just to get a feel of the area. So I'm going to have to turn off the music for a little while. And also the guy or the woman talking to the guard, so I can go past here. So that's one of the ways to get through. The other way is to just beat up the guards, naturally. Okay, so I think I'm going to make sort of a guest room over here. Just make a new map for that, I think. Okay, and then yeah, this looks sufficiently messy. So I figure that when we enter here, the king is standing by this this desk or this meeting room area, meeting table, being frustrated about something. Then we come in and they will start a conversation here. Okay, so the king's study seems okay. Just make sure that everything is blocking the way it should be, so I can't just walk over things. That would be a bit strange. Everything seems fine. And then this bedroom area, alright. It does seem fine, I think. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Not sure whether I should clutter even more or just leave it the way it is. I should put in just a few more objects here and there to make the room feel more lived in. Just have to check the teleporters working fine. Everything seems to be okay. Okay, I thought that was okay. Seems fine for me. I think I'm going to play through just some of the game, about half an hour of the game until this point, because there are a few changes that I made that I want to incorporate in the save game before I continue making these scenes. So I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I think that was that one just before the spider boss. Yeah, this is it. So there will be a few cutscenes from here on, but I hope since you're watching the stream, then maybe you enjoy this. Of course, this boss battle is supposed to be much harder than this. It's just the issue of balancing the combat. It's something that I'm doing all the time, and I think it's better to do that at the end of the when I'm sort of finishing up the game, and just make sure that everything is balanced. As it is now, it's definitely not very balanced, so it's way too easy. Okay, so this is his name is Vex. He is sort of a let's say comic relief character. Um, I I have to admit I really enjoy writing him. He has some witty dialogue and makes the game much more lighthearted, which I really enjoy. Yeah, so the story this far is basically that this boy, his name is by default Marim, you can of course change that name, has washed up on shore on a strange island called Everwind, where he meets this dog who also was on the ship that he was that sank. Uh, so he was washed up at the same shore. Um, and so he meets this character, Vex, who is hiding some kind of treasure, which apparently belongs to the king. So now they've been captured by Captain Bologna, which is his character, um, and they've been being taken back to the Citadel in Gringard, which is a city-state, to hear what the king wants to do with them. So that is basically the story this far. And of course, it's going to be much more intricate when the story develops further. So these flowers that I pick up from the ground are used in crafting. Uh, Flowers are usually used to make potions, and also other items can be found that can be used in crafting to, for instance, upgrade your weapons, which is a huge thing. Um, as you can see, this walking stick has two dots next to it, one green and one grey. When you find it, it has only two grey dots, and when you upgrade it once, it will gain one green dot, indicating that you've used one of the upgrade slots. And so when this weapon has been upgraded twice, it cannot be upgraded anymore because both of the slots are taken. So that's how that works. Of course, that doesn't only mean weapons. You can upgrade clothes and things like that as well, gear, and also make useful items using the crafting system here. So here I have 3 mountain flowers, so I can use those to create a potion, minor health potion. I can use spider silk to create string, which can be further used to upgrade your weapons. Yeah. So I think I'm just going to end this scene here at the camp, and we'll move on to... Sorry, we'll move on to Gringard. And hello to Gamer7256. So this is a rather large city, which will have a lot of quests that you can perform. the quests open up after this introductory mission, or this introductory um, quest, where you can walk around, pick up quests at your own pace, and complete them in whatever order you want to. So I'm trying to strive for a more open structure in this game, not a linear structure that I have used to make in the past. Okay, so we got a major exposition scene coming up in the throne room when we are presented to the king, or the god king of Gringard, who apparently is only a little boy. Okay, so this is the introduction of one of the main antagonists in this story, or in the game, who is he's called the Hierophant, and he is a commander of the Inquisitors, which is a sort of militant fraction in basically under the king, defending the king's holiness. So the island Everwind is inhabited by two factions. One is Gringard, with the king Cicero as the holy king, and the other one are the Picts, which is scattered sort of native people who were there before Gringard invaded and settled in Everwind, and so they are sort of suppressed by the Gringardians, or by the king, because they do not want to worship him as a god, because they follow their own religion, which is worshipping something they call the Earth Mother, which is sort of a nature religion, and therefore they are banished from the heartlands of this area, and Cicero and the king is trying to keep the Picts out of the area. And so they are hunted down like animals, really, by the Inquisitors, because they do not want these Earth Mother worshippers in their land. Another issue here is that King Cicero is only a child. He just ascended the throne because his father died. He is not very highly regarded by the people around him, by the general and this Hierophant character, um, because they don't think that he is capable of ruling the island. So he's trying to prove himself, but he can't quite do it. So at least the Hierophant especially is a bit sarcastic in his way of speaking to the king. Okay, so now we're thrown into the dungeon. So the next step here is to try to get away. I was sort of forced by this Vex character to escape the dungeon, to avoid being beheaded or whatever will happen to us if we stay here and wait for our fate. And thank you very much for your kind comment, Hunting Swan. I try to do my best. It's a lot of work and it doesn't go very fast, but slow working makes a much better game, in my opinion. So I've chosen to make the dog not talk at all. So he's just really showing his emotional expression, expressing his emotions by using barking or growling or and using these bubbles with emojis in them. I think it brings out enough of his character to make him funny and a full-blown character that can follow the party. What kind of game are you making? Okay, using the same engine, the RPG Maker engine. Okay, that's cool. If you leave a link, I might check it out afterwards. Of course, if you have anything finished. I haven't made a demo yet, so, well. Okay, so here Vex enters the cell. Okay, what's the name of the game? Hunting Swan. What's the title of your game? Okay, I'll check out the game afterwards. Hunting Swan. Thanks for the link. Oh, cool. Thanks for the follow, Hunting Swan. Appreciate it. Okay, so now we have to escape the Citadel, or at least escape the dungeon. So this is the codex, or it has a quest log, but it also I try to put a lot of the it's called exposition that is needed in the game. I try to put in here, not to make it too intruding. With I don't like tutorials that sort of intrude on the player, so I try to put most of it in here so that the player can access it when he wants to. So information about different places and cultures, the Picts, and also some of the game concepts. When you discover new concepts, I try to put it in here, like sneaking, for instance. So there's no tutorial, but there's a notice in the upper left corner that tells you that there is a new entry in the codex, and you can go read the tutorial or the information about it if you want to. And I put this little mouse here. There are several of them around in the game at this point. Please don't mind them. They're just there for me to test out things. So when I activate them, I get some kind of turning on and off switches and give me items and change levels and things like that, so that I can test things. So those will be deleted when the game is finished, if you think that looks a bit weird, that there are rats everywhere. Because here's another thing, I try to put small optional things around. So here there's a glowing light there, that means that you can interact with it. And so you pick up or you read a paper, so you can access that from the documents folder. And here's some information about a prisoner that is left here. And if you enter here using the key that we got from Vex, sort of come into this strange thing going on with the teapots and a pink dress and a teddy bear. So what the hell is going on here? But if you read this document, you get a little story about it. So this is basically about a very violent prisoner that is put in here that needs his tea party equipment and Mr. Fluffy. So they're having the guards, Citadel guards, are having sort of a issue with this patient, or this not patient, but this prisoner who sort of playing tea party with his teddy bear in here. So there's a little, yeah, cross-dresser maybe. It's sort of implied. I didn't say it, but it's sort of implied. So that's sort of a small story that is just there for you to discover for yourself if you want to. It's all optional, but I think that sort of things is a bit fun. And also, the teddy bear is an object that you can pick up, which gives you a new quest called Teddy Bears. and it asks you to find someone who's interested in teddy bears. That is actually a quest in the game with a character that you can find in the city who runs a asylum for teddy bears, where you can try to find teddy bears all over the game that you can pick up, and if you bring him all the teddy bears, he will reward you. So it's sort of a collection, catch them all thing that at least I find very motivating when I'm playing games. Like, players like to collect things, so I like to put collection games in my game. And here's the guard that Vex sort of knocked down for stealing the key, and he has a bit of money on him. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce a new concept here. It says that the door is there and it's locked, and we can't use the cell key to that door. The god is asleep, so we're going to use lockpicking. So here we got a little note that we got a new codex. So if you want to read about lockpicking, you can do that. Sorry, lockpicking, I meant pickpocketing, of course. That's what I meant. So you can read how to do that and how it works and all that. If you don't want to read about it, you can just not read about it if you don't want to. But basically, you press a button when you're behind a character, and you can pickpocket whatever they have in their pocket. It could be a key, it could be money, it could be whatever. And if I was good enough at lockpicking, I could actually lockpick this door if I wanted to. I don't have to pickpocket his key and then open it with the key here. I could also lockpick the door. Lockpicking and pickpocketing, it's not the same thing, no. There are two different skills. This is sort of, I hope you can see my mouse, but this icon here is the sneak skill. And that you use the sneak skill for sneaking to get past guards and things like that, and you can use it for pickpocketing. It's the same. That's the same skill. And also lockpicking is its own skill, so that is governed by the lockpicking skill. All right, whatever. It's just how the mechanics work. That's sort of the point. But anyway, the point is that I could choose how to get past this obstacle. There are two options here. Okay, so this chest is locked. I can attempt lockpicking it if I have. I don't have any lockpicks, so I can't open it. And the number of stars next to the lockpick command indicates how difficult the lock is. That's something. And here, this guard we can sneak by if we want to. Sneaking uses stamina, which is the blue bar, and all the members of the party needs to have at least 10% stamina in order to enter sneak mode. And the higher your sneak skill is, the longer you can stay in sneak mode, so you can sneak longer and get past more guards. My sneak skill is only 1 at this point, but I can get past the guard because it's such a small distance. So that worked. The next one, though, is going to be a bit harder to get past. He is sort of... I'm not going to be able to get past him. See, so he saw me. So now I have to fight him. As a Vex, he uses, among other things, he uses a gun. So he has two skills here. One 3 shots, which fires 3 shots at the same time, and one single shot, which fires 1 shot. And these uses bullets. So this uses 1 bullet, and this one uses 3 bullets. Okay, so he gave me a lockpick. And I think there's a treasure in here, if I'm not remembering. Yeah, there's a treasure. And I can't get down to it here because I don't have a good enough sneak skill. Yeah, he's not... fire isn't very good against these guards. What is the smallest number RPG I've ever played? I don't think I understand what you mean. Right, so money in the chest. That's always something that comes in handy. Okay, so this guard we can sneak by. I'm going to do that. And now we're at the top, so entering this area. So this is a butterfly, magical butterfly, and they are basically save points in this game. They let you save the game naturally, and also they refill your health and stamina. So very useful. Okay, 1 in every stat. Are you talking about in this game, or are you talking about if I tried a commercial game that does that? I don't quite understand what you're asking. Sorry. Okay, so we can't go that way because General Zarek is around, so we'll have to find another way. Yeah, okay, never mind. Okay, so I'll save the game here. Then we'll walk into the kitchen. So that's a food lift. So when we enter the kitchen, there is some knocking going around. So if we just wait for a moment, we get an indication that the knocking comes from the box over here. Okay, see ya, bye. Alright, so that was General Zarek. Almost caught us, but only almost. We were able to hide behind the counter. Okay, so this girl, we met her once before, just after we arrived on the island. We met her in the forests near a shrine, and then we were attacked by a couple of the Inquisitors, and she sort of started doing some flashy lights, and then she disappeared, and the Inquisitors ran away. So she is a Pict. So she is hunted by the Inquisitors. So she is skulking around in the area where she is forbidden to go by the king. So one of the mysteries here is to find out what she is doing in here, where she shouldn't be. Again, never mind the rats. They're just there for test purposes. Okay, so we have to go past the guard. Um, that fight, we can fight him if we want to, but that is a very difficult fight. Um, it may be possible, it should be possible to defeat them, but it's also possible to do it in a different way. Introducing the speech skill, which is the last of the party skills listed on the top that you can use. So in this particular case, we can persuade this woman into distracting the guard. We can bribe her, really, and then we can slip past and go up in the king's quarters from here. Okay, so here is the we can bribe her. It has difficulty 1 star, and it takes 10% stamina to do that. So it's the same thing as with the sneak skill. It also produces just stamina by 10%. And we were successful. Okay, now we can choose how much we want to give her for that. It doesn't really matter what you choose, so it's sort of the player doesn't know that, but here it's enough to give her 10 coins to make her do it. And of course, if you don't have any money, you can pickpocket this guy and get 13 gold from him. So there's a way to do that without, even if you don't have money with you. Can I lockpick that? Ah, 1 lockpick. There's a chest here. As you can see, she is now conversing with the guard, distracting him so that we can walk up the stairs in order to enter the king's quarters. So that is as far as the main quest goes right now. Of course, there are a lot of other quests that that open up to you after you've completed this quest, and already made those, a lot of those, but we can't access them before we actually escape the Citadel. Okay, so now I've updated my saves, and I completed more or less the King's Quarters. So I think I'm going to stop the stream right here, and I hope you want to subscribe to me if you want to see more of me making Everwind. Follow me on Twitch, and follow me on Twitter as well. It's NaggyNerd is my username, so follow me, and I will inform you when I start streaming, so that you can come and watch me if you want to. Okay, so that's it for today, I think. So goodbye.